254 days to form a habit. Okay, so again, why am I telling you this? That there's no reason to not think about this and to think like, man, I thought it only took 21 days to form a habit. I'm not asking you for any type of perfection here. I want you to really think about this. How do we make membership part of our routines and our community? So have you been constantly and consistently been focusing on membership from anywhere from 18 to 254 days? If not, we need to be. And membership needs to be part of our lives 365 days a year. And I know that sounds cheesy, and I'm a cheesy kind of gal, and I really think that that's true. So how do we make that happen? I have some thoughts about it that I want to share with you tonight, which is the basis of what we're going to talk about. So I love this graphic, every day versus every day. Alicia goes to the gym every day versus going to the gym is part of Alicia's everyday routine, right? So think about it like this. Y'all, humans are inherently lazy. I don't care what you say. We are inherently lazy. And by that, I mean, we'd much rather be doing something and spending our time on something enjoyable and instead of this high value but beneficial activities that are considered boring, right? Like that's just what we naturally want. So I think in order to focus on membership every day, we need to do a couple things. One, we need to have structure and we need to have a plan. What's that saying that if you plan to fail, then you fail to plan? Wait, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. That's it. I think that that's really true. And I think we don't actually have well thought out plans to help us truly think about membership. And I think we can start there. That will really help. And I think we need to have some structure and some goals with those plans. Do we have the right people on our team? We're going to talk about that in a minute. Do we have goals and stretch goals and practical timelines to make this happen? If we're going to be thinking about it and talking about it all the time and keeping it at the forefront of our mind, we need to have a plan for that. We need to think about who is missing. If we want to add members to our clubs or really focus on member engagement, are they happy with their experience and who is missing from that or what is missing from that? And then I think we need to start thinking about our community. Are we truly in touch with our community and what does that actually look like? We're going to talk more about that in just a minute too. So here is the thing, my friends. I've been doing this. I've been on staff for a little over 7 years now. And I have to tell you, there is no magic answer to membership. If there was, I'd be making a ton of money, and I can guarantee you that's not happening. So what is the key to membership? The key is, we've already talked about having goals, but have we talked enough about having fun? If we're not having fun, then we're doing it all wrong, y'all. You and me included, we're volunteers. We're volunteering our time, and this is the one hill that I will die on, okay? Time is the most important thing we have in our lives, okay? I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. It's not friends, it's not family, it's not our health. It's time, because time is what we spend on our families, on our friends, on our health. So don't waste your time on things that aren't bringing you joy, and don't let others do that either. Have fun, and if not, that's a whole separate conversation we can have. I want you to try to think like a scientist. What do I mean by that? I mean, what is working and what is not working? I want you to take note of what your efforts are looking like and what might need to change. Have we created a hypothesis? Have we tried something and maybe readjusted it the next time so that we could see if it works differently? What does that actually look like? And then remember our reason. Sometimes I think we forget about our reasons for what we're doing, why we're doing what we're doing. Is it the kid in your life that has truly made a difference and you've seen the impact it's made? Is it the money and through the fundraisers you've been making and you were able to give out a scholarship to 5 different people in your community and you saw what impact that made? Remember your reason and remember how to clearly articulate that. All good things to do. We have to practice, and we have to practice some more. So let's redefine this membership concept. What does that actually look like? I think we need to gather the right people on our teams We need to energize that team and maximize our opportunities. And here's how I think we do it. So I've talked about this before, but I think it's really interesting. I have this little notebook. Hold on. It's actually right here beside me. And every time I go and do this talk or go talk to Kiwanis members, and I do this often, several times throughout the year, I always ask them, hey, Mike Coolball, what made you join Kiwanis? Hey, Eric Paul, what got you interested first? Tiffany, why are you in Kiwanis, right? And I have these conversations, and here's what I found. The answers are up on the screen. A lot of times people have said they want to make a contribution to something. Several people told me they want to learn a new skill. The majority of people said they want to take ownership of a situation, such as the helping kids or helping get books in the hands of kids or whatever that situation might be. Several people said they have a desire for change. A lot of people said that their friends were doing it, so they wanted to have fun. Some people told me they wanted to meet new people in their community because they were new. Several people said they were personally asked. A lot of people told me that their organization that they're a part of or someone they knew were a part of Kiwanis and said they wanted to join. There were some other reasons, such as they enjoy the work that the club was doing, and just a slew of a couple of more. So I asked these people, like, what's keeping you engaged? And the concept of engagement is interesting. The more connected we are to something, the more we love it, right? We develop memories surrounding the people, the experiences, and these things that we're learning, right? And we're most attached to the groups or those organizations that we're involved in. That's why we have a close circle knit of friends, or that's why we continue to do the things that we're doing. And oftentimes, this engagement concept, when we're really engaged in something, it produces things like higher retention, increased satisfaction, and honestly, a larger membership, right? If people are truly engaged, there's going to be more members engaged in it. So why do associations in general struggle for people not to continue on or struggle to get renewals or to get more people involved? I did some more research, and some of the numbers that I found, that 43% said that members' lack of engagement with the organization was because they had difficulty justifying the cost and the time associated with the return on investment. 25% said that they lack value, and about 40% said that they were leaving the industry because of budget cuts. So at an engaged organization, ideally, we're drawing members in from day one of membership with that personalized, multi-touch connection, right? We're really engaging the person from all levels. We give them ways to get involved right away. We're continuing to engage with them throughout the whole process that they're a member. We're personalizing things if possible. And I think that if we go back to the thought of why do people join, the contribution, the desire for change, most of these answers are motivations that are tied to emotions, right? They go back to our human needs, such as the desire. Like, as a human, we need water, right? We need food. We need to feel safety. We also have the desire as human to have relationships. And my question for you is, how do we take these emotions and harvest them to help us accomplish the goal of our organization? How do we do that? How do we harvest these emotions to engage more of our current members, engage new members, and recruit more members at large? I have a couple of thoughts on that, and that's what I want to share with you next. First, I think we need to develop the contacts. We need to have the right people on our team. When it comes to the right people on our team, here's the thing. Not everyone is the same, and we need to know the strengths that everyone has. So I know, for example, you could ask me to pick up the phone, dial any number, and I would have a conversation with them all day long if I could, right? I could get the walls around me to join Kiwanis, and I would love every second of it. There are certain people that you couldn't pay them to pick up the phone and talk to people, especially someone they don't know, because that is not their jam. So if that is not their jam, you need to utilize the strengths that are their expertise, right? Maybe that is organizing a spreadsheet. Maybe that is printing flyers. Maybe that is calling up or mobile ordering the pizza for the pizza party you're going to have. Regardless of their skill, you need to utilize it, because I think that, again, another cheesy saying that I actually love is everyone has a place on the membership team. You just have to find that right fit. So if your club members do not know what their role is on the membership team, ask them, because I can guarantee you they're not going to come up and volunteer and say, here's all my strengths, use it, right? You need to say, hey, Debbie, I see this and this in you. Can you please help me with this? Because people are a lot less likely to turn you down if you ask them in person, right? So I think that that's something we can all be mindful of. I also think we need to have a really good pulse on what the needs are of the community. Do you really know what the needs are of your community? When was the last time you checked that out? When was the last time you did interviews with the local schools, with the local townspeople, with the local nonprofits, to see if you are truly engaged with what the needs are of the community? Have they changed in the last year? In the last 5 years? I can almost guarantee you they have, since we've had this thing, called a pandemic lately. I think that that's something really valuable, and things have changed, and we can be really mindful of that. So number one, we need to make sure the right people are on the right team. Next, we need to focus on membership efforts in general and give them cake, not the ingredients. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? When I say that, I mean, give them the cake, the beauty of Kiwanis in all its wonderfulness, right? Give them a cake that is beautiful to show, here's what Kiwanis is. And I don't mean a physical cake, although if you gave me a cake when I joined, I would be member forever, right? However, what does that actually look like? That looks like including me right away as a new member, getting me engaged, caring about what I care as a new member versus maybe what the club cares, if that differs, right? So we're going to give them this beautiful cake called Kiwanis wrapped up in a bow to show them what we're all about. And then once they're joined and engaged, then they become a part of the recipe, right? They become a part of the ingredients that we can then share with other new members. So I think we need to think about it that way, like reverse it a little bit. Help them enjoy what Kiwanis is, and then they become a part of Kiwanis. Next, I think we need to utilize efforts that work for us. So maybe that's 2 for 2. I hope you're all familiar with 2 for 2. Maybe that's utilizing that in your community. Maybe it is having an open house because you have really great results with an open house. And I think maybe it might be a combination of all of the above. There are so many membership efforts out there. We could talk about those all day long. And I think it's probably the sweet spot is a combination of all. And then, are we truly reflecting our community? That's a big question I've been getting a lot lately. And I think it makes people think, like, are we truly reflecting our community? If not, we might have some work to do. And I think we can do that. Next up is service. Y'all, the number one issue I see with engagement of service is not thinking big enough. Eric will enjoy this. This is the Kiwanis Club of Ticonderoga. This club was really passionate about stuffing backpacks, right? And getting food into the hands of students that were not able to have food on the weekends. So they started this project back in 2013, stuffing 30 backpacks. And without going into all the details of the story, they really said, how can I help? What can I do? And where can I make an impact? And then they found out that a lot of people wanted to support them. So they partnered with a local food bank. And now they're able to help 100 students 34 weeks of the school year. That a Kiwanis backpack filled with food is going home with students. They're also able to do it 8 weeks of the summer, and they provide a week's worth of groceries directly to the parents. So I think when it comes to service, y'all, we need to evaluate the project, increase the goals, involve the right people, bring it to social media to share the amazing things we're doing, and make it easy to participate. If it's not easy to participate, then it's a deterrent right away. So again, I think we need to do that more often. And I think when it comes to service, we don't think big enough, or maybe we think we're limiting ourselves. There was a club in Indiana, and they were not very proud of the scholarship they gave out. They said, well, we're only able to give out a $500 scholarship. And I said, you know what? After 4 years, do you know how much money you're giving back to your community? That's $2,000. That's a lot of money, right? For a student, that's going to make an impact. So I think if we think about it that way, of like the collective impact we're having, that's a great way of focusing on engagement, because people love to do the service. You probably wouldn't be in Kiwanis if you didn't. So the last couple of slides, I'll leave you with this. Are you sharing your impact enough? And do you understand your why? Why you're in Kiwanis? And better yet, can you clearly explain that? Can you clearly explain your why? Could you put it on a bumper sticker? Here is a super easy task I want you to do, and you can bring it back to your Kiwanis club. Have people understand what their why is. Ask them, why are you in Kiwanis? Why are you still in Kiwanis today? And can you fit that on a bumper sticker? The reason why I think a bumper sticker matters is because I think when things are short and sweet, you're able to clearly articulate it better. And say, if you're in an elevator and people ask you why you joined Kiwanis, you can say, I have joined Kiwanis because of the impact I've seen it's made on my sister's school and the library, books that are donated directly to her library, right? So then you can go into more detail, but when we think about it on a bumper sticker, that helps us get it into the right mindset that we can clearly articulate to people, because it's going to happen. People are going to ask you, what's Kiwanis? Can you communicate that clearly? If not, practice, because I can guarantee you, if I can practice with my friend Tiffany, who I know very well, then I can practice with any stranger. So practice with those around you. It might feel a little awkward. That's okay. Just keep practicing. So let's wrap it up with a couple of different ways. Number one, I want to break through the noise. When I say break through the noise, I want you to know their reasons for volunteering and talk about it. Those are the things that are going to naturally motivate us, and then we're going to find out those reasons to keep them at the forefront of our conversations, the forefront of everything that we do. Communicate. I want you to focus on communication at all times and in all different ways. Everyone communicates differently, and you need to find out how they best communicate. Easier said than done. Over communicate is my suggestion. I feel like that helps more than it deters. Number 3, explain the benefits of your club. Why do I need to join the club in Lock Haven versus the club in Reading? What does that look like? Why is your club special? Why is your club special? What else am I going to get out of membership? What else am I going to get out of a Kiwanis membership? Only you can explain that. Value people's time. I've already talked about this. Play to their strengths. I've already talked about this as well. And finally, share your appreciation. I think this is the easiest thing we can do in the world, and we don't do it enough. For example, thank you for hanging out with me tonight, because I know you had a choice of what to be doing. Maybe it is cooling off with a refreshing drink in this hot heat we're all experiencing. And so again, I know you had a choice of what to be doing tonight, and I'm glad you're spending some time with me. I don't think we say thank you enough, and it's really easy to do. It makes an impact. So I want you to take 10 seconds and think, who is your favorite leader in the world? Who is your favorite leader? And if you want to, you can unmute and tell me who your favorite leader is. There's a bunch of different answers, I'm sure.
Emily Saalfrank.
Thank you, Eric. I love that. I paid him to say that. So my favorite leader, his name is Beckett Everest Cunningham. My best friend of 35 years, has 3 kids, and this is her oldest, Beckett. He's 7 years old. He's born the day after I was, and I think he's the coolest kid in the entire world. Okay, why do I think Beckett is the best leader? So Beckett is not only is he so cute, but he just has a really good grasp of the world, right? I asked him several questions about what it means to be a leader. And he went into great details, as kids tend to do, about how he was chosen to be the line leader in his first grade class. He was so proud about, and he went on and on for minutes, it seemed like hours, about how he got to be the line leader and how he got to have everyone follow him around to the activities that they were doing. And he went on and on throughout the day. So he spent so much time telling me this story, but there's this one girl in his class, and she did not understand the rules according to Beckett. She was not staying in line, and he felt personally responsible for this little girl. And, he was the one in charge of the line. So it really got me thinking, if a 7-year-old can understand the concept of leadership, then we can do it too. We as adults certainly can. So I spent some time asking Beckett about it. And that's what I want to leave you with. These 2 quotes. The last questions that I asked him, I said, Beckett, after this interview I did, I said, what words would you give to anybody about leadership? And he said this:
Work makes the dream work.
Teamwork makes the dream work. And
people work together, good things happen.
When people work together, good things happen. Y'all, that is so true. I think we tend to have reservations as adults automatically built in, because if a kid goes to the playground, Beckett, for example, if he goes out in the playground and he wants to play tag and he goes up to somebody and say, hey, will you play tag with me? If they say no, what's he going to do? He's going to go ask another kid to play with him, right? It's the same thing for adults. If someone says no, we need to ask someone else, and we need to be resilient like them. Ultimately, I really think it's kids that have the right mindset and the concept of it doesn't matter about clicks. It's making sure no one's left out. It's kids who express kindness the best, courage, even when it's unpopular. So let's think more like a kid who they are engaged in all that they do. I can't argue that. So here are some questions I want you to take back to your club, and I want you to think about it. Have these questions. They're not always easy. So would you recommend your club to a friend? And have you? What are 3 things your club should continue doing? What are 3 things your club is good at that you need to continue doing? And again, maybe the opposite, like we started off with. What are 3 things your club should stop doing? Have you ever thought about that? Who do you need to connect with to share the message of Kiwanis? I am really embarrassed to say this. My husband and I moved back to Tennessee a little over a year ago once we had our first baby. And it was him that said, hey, Emily, when are we going to look for a Kiwanis club to join? And I was thinking, wait, what? You want to join Kiwanis? Never once have I asked him to join. What is wrong with me? My husband, like, he's the person I talk to the most every day. So why was I so hesitant? Because in my mind, I just thought, oh, he wouldn't want to join. And he was the one who asked me. So, like, use my mistake as an example. Who do you need to connect with? More importantly, when are you going to connect with them? When are you going to connect with them? And finally, how can you redefine the membership experience? Y'all, the easiest thing is, if you are not in love with your membership experience, you can change it. You just have to figure out how you want to change it and what that actually looks like. So the last slide is just my contact information. It is esaalfrank@kiwanis.org. I am always happy to chat. I am always happy to brainstorm. I am happy to do anything that you need me to in any way, shape, or form that you need. So I'm only just an email or a phone call away. I'm pretty available whenever you might need me. So I want to take the next, 3 minutes. Let me stop sharing the screen if I can figure out how to do that. Maybe it's on this screen. There's usually like a little bar at the top, right?
Should say stop sharing.
Yeah, but where? There's usually the bar at the top. Oh, I see. Okay, stop sharing. There we go. So here's my question for you before, you're welcome to ask me questions now if you want to, if you have any that are burning, or things you want to talk about. But I really think this is a good time for us to talk for the next like 2 minutes, y'all. How are you staying engaged? Maybe the better question is, are you engaged? And how are you focusing on engagement in your club? Because I can sit up here, sit down here, sit right here and talk to you a lot. I can talk a lot. I also think you can learn more from each other than sometimes you ever can from me. So that's my question. What ideas do you have on engagement, and what does that look like for you? Any brave souls want to talk to me?
I think being present is really important for engagement. And it's not just about like going to the meetings. That's not what I'm referring to, but truly being present with other members. And meeting attendance obviously will help with that, but being present in the activities and not just going through the motions, truly be there and experience whatever it is you're doing, whether it's the pancake breakfast or road cleanup or what have you. Just be there, be present.
Do you think the members in your club are present, Barb?
I'm sorry?
Do you think the members in your club are present?
Several of them are. Some not so much. And there's various reasons for that. Some is just kind of life, but they're, part of the membership. And they have other needs, or Kiwanis is meeting another need for them. And when that need is ready or available, then they do come and they're present and they do what they do. I think that's where we get the membership experience in importance. Some people just go through the motions, and some of that maybe it's not that they don't want to, but maybe they're afraid. They're kind of, hesitant to put their toe in the water. And I know I was for a long time, and then dove in.
And look at you now. Master of all things. Thanks for sharing.
Our club has a nucleus of people who've been members for 30 years or more. And they have an attitude of, I'm here, we're raising money, we're giving a lot of money away, and it's good. It's very hard to get them engaged. And really, when you have a project, you can get them out to help you with it. You have a couple big events, they come out to help. But we really need new faces to get the enthusiasm going. And we've fortunately been able to do that somewhat. We've gotten a few new members, and it really changes the discussion period in our meetings and improves things. So the new members coming in are attracted to certain activities we do. And so now we're trying to get more activities so we'll entice more new members.
That's great. That's the way to do it. I think that this is a controversial statement I'm going to say, but our clubs should be about our new members, right? And about attracting them to what we're doing, attracting them to what they're liking. So I love that you tailor that. Thanks for sharing. Other thoughts?
I have a simple question here. Go ahead, Debbie.
I have a question too. Will this, we were told at the beginning this would be recorded, so I'm guessing that this will be available. The guy who's been our membership chair for some time is now our president-elect, and so I think it would be wonderful for him to be able to view a copy of this, but I'm disappointed that he wasn't here tonight, but I obviously didn't try hard enough to strong arm him into coming.
It was recorded. I didn't get it right at the very beginning, but I did. And I even have a note here that says record.
Good. Yeah, well, it did say it was recording, so I think it probably got most of it. I'm one of those people that does well with the spreadsheets and the data and the, whatever. So I'm not really that inspiring, although, there are people who might say I inspire them, but that's not my main thing. Honestly, I joined Kiwanis because I thought, if I'm going to spend time with this guy I'm marrying, I darn well better get involved with Kiwanis. Now, this was in 2007. Unfortunately, he only lived another 10 years, but here I am still. So obviously he's more than that. He had been New Jersey district governor in the late 90s. So, he was very, very involved. But I had always done a lot of service, but mostly through my church. But, I wasn't opposed to doing more. I love the fact that we focus on children and my club primarily raises money, although we also do some literacy things and we read to kids in pre-K. But, there's a lot that people could help with. So
that's amazing. You have the reason why you joined, and now you have the reason for why you stayed.
Yeah, right.
I love that. That's beautiful. Other thoughts, Conrad?
Well, I was going to ask the group a question here. I mean, how many folks on here this evening have actually asked somebody to join or sponsored a new member in your club? Have all of you?
I have.
And I know I have.
I have.
Good. Good.
Have you this month? If you haven't this month, take it a step farther.
Well, I was actually talking to someone this afternoon. There's a bank that originally the manager joined as an individual, and I recently had it converted to a corporate membership. And she left the management job, and there's a new manager there. And I spoke to this one this afternoon, whether she was going to, take that place or maybe the assistant manager. So we'll be it's not a new member, but it's a new face.
So is that former manager going to stay as an individual member?
No, she's gone into another occupation that will not permit her to.
Yeah.
Well, the key to engagement, y'all, and the key to membership is to try, and then try again and do some more. So if you have successes, we want to hear them. Sometimes I don't think we focus on the good enough. We tend to focus or harp on the bad. And I think the good is beautiful and the good is encouraging, and we need to share more of the good. So if you have good things to share, we will always take them. By we, I mean anyone on this call, and I know Conrad, and I definitely will. So I appreciate the time that you have given me and hung out with me this evening. Again, when you could be maybe eating a fabulous dinner, maybe you already have, and now it's time to go hang out. So, Conrad, that's all I have. Unless there's
That's fine, Emily. I want to thank you very much for doing this presentation this evening. I think all of us have, picked up something from you this evening, and hopefully all of you have registered for our district convention. And if you haven't, you ought to soon. And Emily will be one of the presenters there as well. So we missed Emily last year, but we look forward to this year.
I'll be there.
All right, I want to thank each one of you, as Emily already has, for being on here tonight. I like it inside right now. It's a little cooler than it is outside, and depending on where you are, it might be a little drier than outside. So, I mean, we had our storm about an hour or so ago, and it's moved on out to Mike and Tiffany's area right now. So
just passes, and I see the sun coming out.
Good. Well, again, thank you all for being here. The second Monday in August will be an individual from the Rocky Mountain District, Dominic, what's his name, Breton. He is their district membership coordinator, and I heard him speak at our governor's conference in Denver. well, it was a lot colder than it was this past week. So we were in Denver in January. So he had an interesting message about their membership efforts, and I'd like folks to consider listening to what he has to say.
He's good people.
So we'll get that advertised shortly, and see all of you then, as well as our district convention with the New Jersey district in August. Yes, Diane, question.
Yes. Will you provide the recording for us so that we can share it with our clubs?
Somebody will. It won't be Conrad, I can tell you that.
Okay, good enough. Just so we get it. I think this would be very beneficial for our clubs.
Sure.
And I'd appreciate it.
I'm sure it'll be posted on the Pennsylvania Kiwanis forum. Now, I have one question. How do I have to do anything to stop the recording, or?
Yeah,
you
stop.
Yeah.
Just hit the red button, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that button that, you know, that we always make fun of Sean for hitting.
Oh, I know what you mean. Pause or stop. Yeah, pause, stop recording. So that's the stop recording.
Mhm.
And then I guess Sarah will post it for me. She'll be able to find it.
Yeah.
Do I have to do anything else?
She'll
No,
tell
you're
you how to find it.
What's that, Mike?
You're good. She'll find it.
Okay. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you again shortly. Some of you.
Bye, everyone.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks
everyone.
a lot.
Thanks
See ya.
again.